And kicking things off already, RunAway versus GEEKSTAR. Let's go ahead and jump into this as we kick things off on Well. Well, here we go.
Yep,
Get ready to begin. It's been so long since I've heard the RunAway cheer guy.
Yeah.
Always fantastic.
GEEKSTAR does get some fan cheers here at the end there, after the Korean commentators kind of goaded the crowd to give some respect.
They goaded them in?
Yeah. getting them into, you know, giving that appreciation to this new squad. The EXL players coming back.
Okay, so here we go. They get a look at GEEKSTAR. Going to be running the Orisa here. Get those halts into the over top of the Well.
Yep.
And completely shut somebody down, but they're not going to be going for the halt hook here with a Roadhog in the mix.
Yeah, it's rather going to be the McCree variation here, where you could set it behind the barrier, do massive damage. It's the protect the McCree comp, like we like to call it. And the McCree will obviously do quite a lot of burst in these moments.
Well, they keep trying to shift around and find a place to go ahead and get postured up onto the point, but RunAway is running them down. Shield will finally come through, trying to get the boop in from the back and not knock anybody in, but Hisu will still find first blood as who will get taken down. Leo as well getting jumped on, and everybody is just getting slaughtered here. RunAway taking command of the first point.
And the whole idea with the protect the McCree here is you get someone discorded, you burst down, especially if you're running against this dive variation with the Winston. You kill the tanks that get close to you. You can see he didn't do much damage. Now we're going to see a complete swap over to the Zarya, but he tried to build up that damage to get kills, but the sustainability on RunAway's side was just too much.
Yeah, right clicks going through Hisu, building up for that Graviton Surge. Someone going to have to make up for some lost time here with that late swap onto the Zarya. Bubble going through, Mag chases forward, manages to find Waffle, taking him down. Now Yeomwon going to fall. Assassin just getting absolutely melted out. GEEKSTAR will be contained back into the spawn for now. Log here does have that Primal Rage up, manages to get that final smack in. And that will go ahead and force D.Va off the side of the map.
And this is where it gets really tough. You know, Yeomwon's only at 15% of a grav, and he had to switch, obviously, so he's very late on that. So when you look at RunAway, they have the positional advantage and the ult advantage. So GEEKSTAR is going to have to try to basically do an eco push here to grab ultimates, and if they can't make the next push work, they lose this game for sure. So this is a really tense moment. They cannot have a bad fight here.
Grab, set, ready to go. Going to pin that one straight into the wall. Going to be locking up at least two here. As the D.Va tries to stay alive. Self-destruct coming down. QOQ able to find Waffle and pops Gamoshi out of that mech. Now charge forward, comes back in, and it is just another slaughter back to back to back. RunAway not losing control at any point here. Yeomwon will get jumped on. Gets closer and closer to that Graviton Surge, but it might be too late for that one to come online. They have a couple of ultimates getting ready to come up here for GEEKSTAR, but they need to throw everything in the kitchen sink at this point if they want to flip it.
The crucial thing is Gangnam Jin has, I mean, they have both support ultimates, but Gangnam Jin's Transcend is going to be the biggest counter to Yeomwon's grab if he ever is able to build it. Let's see, Waffle's going to speed boost them around. Here comes the attempt. Rallies up.
Their way through. Speed boost into the back. Primal Rage nearly online here for Leo. Needs to stay alive. Pops up here onto the high ground. Log going to be the first one to get taken down. Now, sound barrier in from Waffle, keeping his team topped up. DJ Gong just holding on to his own, but now Hisu is going to fall. RunAway identifying that they can go ahead, allow this flip to happen, come back in, then commit the sound barrier, commit these other ultimates they have, get a fast flip back in their favor, and then close out the round.
And it's also, you have to respect too that,
oh no!
Oh man, the double boot from Lee Jae-gong.
Woo!
But you have to respect that GEEKSTAR understood that RunAway would have the ult advantage and try to save ultimates, so they did not commit their ultimates outside of Assassin's rally earlier on, and the sound barrier, of course. But they have the majority of their ultimates here to defense. This is not just RunAway going to come in here and walk in and take candy from a baby right now.
Very true. Bubble in on Leo as he goes into the backside. Starts locking him up. Primal Rage server, but that means Assassin's going to be going down. QOQ finds a double kill with the bomb. Gamoshi and Yeomwon both going to be pushed into the grave now. Log popping that Primal Rage, just looking to play cleanup here. Transcendent's going to be expiring from Who as he tries to retreat. They hand him down a little bit. Come to about half HP, but they still have to worry about Leo, who is leaping around like a madman. Flip getting ready to come in. Now it's going to be back over in favor of RunAway as that OT bar starts ticking down. GEEKSTAR trying to rejoin in onto the point. Leo going to be the first one to get popped. Waffle's coming in. Waffle managed to find one. Not swinging off the map with that right click. Now sound barrier out from Waffle. Somebody else going to be going down, but no Waffle. He managed to go ahead and skate around the inside of the wall, keeping himself alive. But Assassin, the same cannot be said for him. He will get taken down. 100 energy here on Hisu, just melting everybody in his path. Now going to be looking for the D.Va, going to be looking for Waffle. Takes him low, and QOQ is there for the follow-up. RunAway, just bleeding them down slowly and surely, knowing that that OT bar is going to plummet, and it does so well. 100-37 goes the way of RunAway.
Now, very much a one-sided first map here, but I think that the majority of this goes to a nice ult efficiency here. QOQ has got a background in playing D.Va since the beginning of his career back in the first few seasons of Apex, and you know, he's seen a few teams in his time, but his D.Va play has been consistent. He was able to hit those self-destructs, 2 big ones, to guarantee that RunAway would trade up. And it's not just about those moments, too. It's about the fact that GEEKSTAR took a risk. They tried to run the McCree early and always had an ult deficit in terms of the Graviton surges right after that. So Hisu coming up big on the Zarya as well, always having more ult charge because of that early advantage. So now it's time for GEEKSTAR to stick with something a little bit more traditional here with the Winston variation of the Ghost comp. So mirrored compositions now.
Yeah, it's going to be on both sides, clashing here onto the high ground. Sun coming through, Leo getting jumped on, but Armor helping keep alive for a little bit longer, but then everybody else will follow up and take him down. RunAway again, going to be looking for those back-to-back caps. QOQ popped out of the mech, however, who managed to find that one, but She will get traded out. Now the baby D.Va for the side of RunAway going to be eliminated. So man advantage here for GEEKSTAR, but Yeomwon will get taken down. As I say that, the shield bash is coming in from Shui. His target selection has been fantastic. A lot of these final blows coming through for this Brigida player, and there you have it. RunAway gets that initial cap. Rally has been used. They nearly have a sound barrier, and they already have a Transcendence online.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for GEEKSTAR, unfortunately. They're actually going to commit further here. Mog has the Primal.
I mean, they're just cleaning them up. You're right outside the dropship. Mog can just play right out front. Almost got the smack away there on the Gable Sheet to try to get that DMAC, but are unable to find him. But I really like this aggression that we're seeing. RunAway, they know their limits. Even as a very young team, they know how far back they can push GEEKSTAR without overstepping.
Mog committed the Primal, they got that pick, and they delayed the respawns, but you do have to wonder if it was absolutely necessary to go that far, because they are missing that ultimate now.
Well, Graviton going to be pinned into the wall, locking them up. Transcendence out from who, but Leo's on the other side of that wall and will get taken down. Already finding value. And again, Hisu is hovering above 90 energy. And Graviton surge out from Yeomwon. The bomb going to be dropped into the backside, looking for a pickoff, but not going to be able to find it. A lot of that damage going to be negated away. Like Gangnam Jin with that Transcendence helping to keep everybody alive, and they just turn right back around with the fight, get those cleanup kills.
And RunAway is breaking some fundamental rules of how Ruins is played. They're playing out in the open, they're playing at the spawn. Usually this is not how this map ends up getting played here in Korea, but they're using this archway very well, and despite being grabbed there out in the open, they were just able to react so quickly to that D.Va bomb. Gangnam Jin still has that armor.
Yep, now Fu going to be one of the first ones taken down. Cable she knocked down to the back. Assassin dead. Again and again, RunAway is picking up these kills. Another Primal Rage was used here by Mog. He's looking to get a smack off the side of the map, trying to catch him in midair. Unable to do so, but Leo now using his own Primal Rage.
Yeah, they're so desperate at this point to get out. They need to tag the point. Even that's a challenge right now.
Mog leaping back in, they get the lock up on him. Leo gonna get delayed. Graviton surge online from Hisu. They might not even get an opportunity to tag in onto the point. The bomb coming down as QOQ looks for the pickoffs and will be able to find Yeomwon. 99% up to 100. RunAway just hold it all the way cleanly, closing out with a 2-0 here on Achilios.
We know that RunAway's been working with this roster for a little bit of time now, at least. They had that show match that they played, I guess it was about a month ago now. Maybe it was last.
They're doing very extensive tryouts as well.
They did extensive tryouts, 295 players. That's the stat that Flowerbin gave. 295 players applied for the team, and they decided on these 6 of nearly 300 applicants. So you could see that with the fist bumps and everything here at the end, like the synergy is already there in terms of personalities between these players. So that is one of the most important things in a team game like this. That's why mixed rosters sometimes don't end up being as successful in Overwatch League as they look on paper. The super team is not always what you want. Mechanical skill will always fall behind that synergy, and RunAway's always had that since Apex Season 1. Speaking of synergy, we're going to do a huddle real quick.
Yeah, you gotta get the huddle synergy up a little bit here.
Tactical pauses removed, but now we got to do the tactical huddle, okay?
It's taking her a little bit longer than usual to get those guys all grouped up here. But yeah, Mom finally got the attention of the kids.
It's really reminiscent, to be honest, because I feel Jesus play on the Zarya to Order's play at the beginning of Season 2 on Zarya, where, you know, he had this breakout performance in the first match. I think it was against WGS. I'd have to go back and check his former team. But anyway, Hisu really killed it. He was able to maximize energy on the Zarya, and that comes from the protection of his supports. So he's just always up on the front line. And it's your first televised match. You know, you're the Eclipse coach looking at some of these players, having some discussions, and it's not a good feeling when the defending championship team, with a completely new roster of 6 players, one of which has never really seen televised matches before, compared to your 3 EXL players, saying right here thinking, well, this is not the, you know, we didn't necessarily know we were going to win map 1, but to get crushed that hard is probably not what they were expecting.
Yeah, I mean, only 37% built up on Well, 0 there on Ruins, completely shut out and just kept inside the dropship pretty much in every single twist and turn there in that final round. So definitely a very rough start for them. RunAway, on the other hand, can feel pretty elated, but need to still remain calm. They have these players that are new to the stage. Like you said, some of them never even playing in televised matches. You want to make sure they don't pop off too early. Don't get too excited and get complacent. They need to remain focused on the match. Make sure that they don't get cocky.
I mean, Mag is no stranger to adversity. I mean, his time in GC Busan Lucia in Open Division, the team never popped off like its sister team, which obviously everyone knows has now become GC Busan Wave, but originally GC Busan, the Apex Season 4 champions that defeated RunAway. And for Mag, like he's been working hard to get to this moment to play on a big stage, and Korea is exclusive that way, and having this offline environment for contenders, so it does feel like the big leagues, even though you're not quite in Overwatch League yet. But it feels like this is where most of the Overwatch League players come from, so you've made it to this stage. Now if you could prove yourself this season, maybe you could slide in at some point in Season 2 of Overwatch League and a free transfer window, or during one of those transfer windows. So it's a long road, and it's only game 1, but these are the kind of things you're thinking, and that's why Flower Event's got to keep the emotions in check.
Yeah. So now we get ready to move into our drafting phase here as far as the maps are concerned. So 2 choices for Hybrid getting ready to come through, Hollywood and Nimbani. One favors Goats quite heavily. The other one does not. So basically, it's what style do you want to play? What style do you think that RunAway is maybe the best at here is what GEEKSTAR is going to have to be looking at as they get ready to push forward and make their decision.
Oh, we're going back to our cheerfuls here.
Oh, looks like we had a Homer Simpson as a jelly bean.
That's right. Well, he's a big fan of Yeongbun Tang. The sign is kind of explaining there. RunAway fans here, you guys can probably tell. I'm kind of leaning towards, going back to your proposed question, I'm kind of leaning towards Nimbani being the map pick. Just because I think that if you get that outclashed in the 3-3 matchup like they just did on Achilios, it's like, do you really want to bring it to a better map for Goats, or would you rather go to Nimbani and just play dive, play something different? The Hisu fan here.
It's always the people crying with like the soju bottle next to them.
Yeah. And I don't know, usually it's with a hero drawn. I don't know what hero it's supposed to be. Maybe it's
an ambiguous hero.
Yeah, maybe
this
it's
is the new
hero.
one.
Yeah.
It's that robot thing
it's
from
like Ash's,
the Creed cinematic.
Ash's faceless stepbrother. And
it was Bob when he was still in development.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
more RunAway fans. Of course, plenty of those.
Yes, there's a lot of them, in fact, and I feel like it's a tradition in Korean esports, and always has been, to when you see new rosters on a team, you just go with them anyways, even if you don't know the players. Like, there's always like a trust that the fans have, and I think that's something that's kind of unique to Korea. I'd say that, for example, even though Shanghai Dragons has completely changed, I think a lot of the Shanghai Dragon fans will probably stick with the new Kongdu Panthera roster. But yeah, I do like that kind of extended support. And when the Lunatic High players moved into Seoul Dynasty, those players followed them. And then now finally we have the same team, essentially with the Academy team, Gen G here. They'll be playing later on tonight. So we'll see those fans coming over as well. I imagine a lot of the old Lunatic High fans will be returning.
Oh. Wait. Why is it cut out? Are you supposed to put your eyes there?
Oh, that she just made it, I guess. I don't know. Like, she cut it out to put it over his face.
I guess so.
That's pretty crafty.
I thought she was gonna put her eyes up there, but it was like, but then it would just look weird because they're not glasses anymore.
Well, it says EJ Gone got the play of the game. And Lucio did make that one really nice sound barrier play on the first map well. So,
and the double boop.
Yeah, I'm guessing we're having some sort of technical delay here, if I had to guess.
That or GEEKSTAR just can't make up their mind about the map, but we'll go ahead and get a look at some of these replays. The very brutal replays. Hisu, I've found that I really enjoy watching Zarya players in this meta. With 3-3 being very dominant, one of the things that I really enjoyed about that shift in the meta was just being able to see so much more Zarya. You know, what is going to be the average energy of these players? How quickly are they building up the Graviton Surges? We were amazed, you know, in Season 2, seeing Decay and how quickly he was able to build up Graviton Surges. Now we're seeing so many more Zarya players really able to step up to that level and kind of replicate those performances that back at the time when Zarya was just starting to get back in was mind-blowing. Now it's kind of becoming norm. It's almost like non-specific to one player. It's kind of reminiscent of like how Miro defined Winston.
Yeah.
And now all of these Zarya players are leveling up. Glister was one of the big standouts in the trials for Contenders. Unfortunately, his team did not make it in, and he has not been picked up by anybody to my knowledge.
Not that we know of, yeah.
But he is definitely somebody who is going to be looked at for sure, given his performance. But you know, now we come into this and we've got Hisu, another fantastic Zarya player to keep our eyes on throughout the duration of this tournament.
And it's very clear that Element Mystic wasn't running a lot of goats, at the beginning of Season 2, and at the end when it was becoming more popular, they still weren't really doing it.
Yeah.
And he was the substitute player, and he was supposed to be trained as like the replacement for Sparkle, but ended up moving into RunAway instead. When you look at where he is now and how well he's doing, maybe he was trained also at the same time to be the Zarya player, where they were trying to make that transition to play that more goats-oriented style. But anyway, his Zarya is very good. And yeah, it's crazy. Like, I remember in the first promotion tournament you and I cast for Apex Season 2 back in the day, like 2 years ago almost today, everyone was starting to figure out, like, wow, like Zarya is not really a tank. Zarya's like a DPS, so you just have to manage getting her energy up there. And a lot of that is individual plays on the Zarya, knowing when to bubble your teammate, knowing when to bubble yourself, and positioning yourself well and not overextending. But a lot of that also comes to the supports and the communication, and that's where the grabs come through as well, knowing your opponent's ult charge and just making sure that you can set up that combo, set it up the grab in the wall, and make sure that the D.Va's not in range to absorb the Graviton Surge. So.
Yeah, I think that is actually another thing that is like one of the biggest things that you have to keep in mind is just pinning those into those little walls where you're just around the corner from the defense matrix, not trying to throw it straight into the face of a D.Va. That takes a lot of timing and a lot of faith and just luck from time to time. And we had the one match, I forget who exactly was playing in the Contenders Trials when it was broadcasting that. We had, I think, 5 Graviton Surges eaten in a row because both Zaryas on either side just kept trying to throw them straight into the face of the enemy D.Vas. And they're just like, oh, well, thank you very much. Like, this takes a couple seconds to trigger, so I have plenty of time to go ahead and throw down the defense matrix and just take that one away from you. And now we'll win the fight because you don't have that tool to work with. But we got the shot. We got some new music going on.
Yeah.
I mean, the
soundtrack this season.
It's like a fight in the Matrix.
Yeah, you and I will get tired of it like after week 4, but right now it's pretty awesome.
But Numbani!
Yeah, this is, I think, the expected choice. When you get outclassed in a mirror matchup like that super hard, you want to go to something that gives you a little bit more depth. It gives you more of an edge. You can play a different style on defense than what you play on attack. You don't really hit the mirror on Numbani. On A, you can, and we have seen that before where teams will run defending goats, but it's pretty rare. And a lot of the style that we've seen on Numbani with goats was being figured out, and eventually people decided it was bad. We saw like Bastion attacks with that as well with the Orisa. Let's find out if it's going to be dive or something more of the same.
I think if they're already seeing the Orisa at the start of well, for the defense at least, that's probably going to be the strategy coming through. Maybe they try to put that hog in there as well. But we will find out as we go through this. Come on, crowd.
And the commentator's going to have to make him do it again. I was like about to yell. We're actually right above the audience. I was like, GEEKSTAR, how to do this? And everyone behind me.
Oh, they're going to yell at the crowd.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yell.
Make some noise.
Yell at them, like, and then the crowd like cheers after I say it.
Well, I'm sure there's some lovely people in the chat right now who are cheering for GEEKSTAR. So shout outs to you guys. love and fairness for all.
Well, this is going to be the defensive setup here for RunAway is looking to be, at least from the outside of things, a Pharah-based defense with Sombra. So it's very strong against a GOAT-style composition. And what we're seeing on the attack here, at least initially, appears to be some sort of dive, but we'll have to wait and see. He's just going to check this really quick with his invisibility.
Spotting out, he's like, okay, there's a Genji, there's, you know, everything else, so looking pretty good. He's going to be hovering in behind. No one really trying to scout for a Sombra, so he'll just go jump back with that translocator. Not going to try to harass anybody.
The lack of a Brigida right now for RunAway is somewhat of a problem, but we can see Speed is actually locking them in place here, doing so much damage in the choke with the increased attack speed.
Certainly could be if Assassin can live up to his name here with that Genji. Jump over onto the opposite side. Leo going to be taking a lot of tags. Everybody folding in, just trying to burst down that Winston, but they're unable to finish him off. And they also can't knock OWC out of that mech. So Tank's going to be alive here for now. Second tick going to be surrendered. RunAway just giving away this first point for free effectively. Push forward has to come in from QOQ. Now rejoins here up top. They managed to find a pickoff as who will get taken down. Shui managing to find the first one. Now going to be looking for a second. Drops down. Gets the kill there onto Yomwan. Now has the barrage online, but would love to hold on to that. But will just get taken down. The fight continues to go on. Anabu's going to be tossed out onto Mog. Charging forward, looking for the kill here onto the enemy. Lucio jumping down, going to be committing the primal rage. So this one's certainly a bit more questionable, but just wants it for the cleanup. They know that they have something like the barrage to try to help defend for that next push coming in. And a self-destruct going to be thrown down here by GEEKSTAR. He tries to make it back into that mech. They will be able to do so. The point's still going to be contested here. They're able to climb up to 81.4%, but now it seems like RunAway should be regaining some control. He drops down one, the barrage, claiming the life of who before he can get that Transcendence online. Now the rest going to be coming back in as the Dragon Blade is drawn out by Assassin. Swipe it away, can't quite get that hit there on Lee Jae-gon to finish him off. Now going to be rejoining here on the ground. Right and left clicking away, building up for another one. Already going to be at 25%. Pounds down a few of these remaining kills, and RunAway should be losing out on point A here very shortly, but the tanks are still playing forward, but now they have no support.
Yeah, I think they can just buy some time here with Mog, excuse me, but I don't think that this is going to be necessarily holdable. They do have the, returning Lucio now, though, so they can make a fight of this. It's just going to be rough.
Here. Assassin just trying to clean up these resets as often as he can. 25% more, just about to have that other Dragon Blade online. Hounding down here. Lee Jae-gon managed to find the hit there onto Who, taking him out with a right click. Rejoined back in onto the point, just trying to get him finally. Tags him up with those shurikens to finish him off. Mog just continues to delay a little bit longer here. 1 minute and 30 remaining on the clock as they get closer and closer to finishing this off. And with that Winston going down, you would expect, but they just keep streaming in one after the other. But now another Dragon Blade is out. Shui gonna get taken down. Assassin clipped by the bomb, however. Lee Jae-gon and QOQ keep this one contested.
This is actually insane. It's like we're watching a map of Control right now here on point A.
I keep thinking, like, surely this is going to be it, but no, it just keeps on going.
It's a 2-minute fight.
Going to be making it back here into the mech, keeping himself alive, retreats, and it seems like RunAway might actually be given an opportunity to stabilize. Mog playing forward, zaps him down a little bit longer, but yeah, they actually stopped contesting it here. They make it almost a 90%. But GEEKSTAR will be held off.
They switched slowly as people were dying to a more sustainable comp, and QOQ and Mog were the heroes here, actually slowing this down. Assassin's making the swap over to Doomfist now to look for the burst, but they are out of time.
Yeah, it's going to be a Transcendence up from Gangnam Jin, keeping everybody else topped up. They get the break on the mech for QOQ. Rejoin back through. They're not going to stop that pilot form yet. Now a Transcendence up from Who, leading the charge. Interrupt on that Fist. Reptile Surge coming down, locks him in, but nobody going to be following on the side of GEEKSTAR yet. Yomwan, however, dangerously low, and Shui will be able to follow up for that kill. Now Who? And Assassin going down. RunAway looking for this full hold. They give up 2 points for free. They come back in, stringing one after the other onto the point. They managed to get that defense, and now with 8 seconds left, GEEKSTAR, I don't think anyone's going to be able to tag this.
I mean, they did this against...
they got one in the back.
They did this against Armor. They did not have their rally did against a better time Transcendence. What an incredible hold from RunAway here. I mean,
not quite over
nuts.
yet, but it's looking like it will be. OWC going to get popped out of that mech right before the sound barrier comes through, and everybody else is just going to get taken down one after the other here. Another Transcendence out from Gangnam Jin. Built that one up very rapidly. OT Bar going to be ticking away, and that will be it. RunAway get the full hold. What an insane fight. I kept thinking every time, this surely has to be it. GEEKSTAR should be able to win here. There's only 2 members of RunAway, but they still pull it off.
The tank line, the main tanks, well, I should say the main sub-tank, QOQ hits the bomb that clips Assassin. I think that's really the big turning point there. As you pointed out, he was just barely hit by the edge of that explosive hitbox and was killed there. But they bought so much time. The commitment of Mag's Primal Rage there as well at the last second just ended up buying them enough time for the Lucio speed boost to come through. And every time these heroes were dying, the Pharah swapping over, they switched to a more sustainable Goats composition. And they had a comp that was actually kind of, they didn't expect to see more 3-3, and they didn't. So they had a comp that was countered. They barely survived, bought so much time with their tank line, and then were able to out-sustain. And Hisu, with the late swap to Zarya, builds a grab so fast, my mind is blown. And, you know, it was a little bit of a scrappy fight on both sides. It was not the most mechanically skilled hold we had ever seen in Korea Contenders, but in that scrappy situation where all cards were stacked against them, RunAway are able to collectively get back on the point, use their tank line, build that grab. And I think that's, you know, as incredible as that is, it also, I think, shows that emotions on the side of GEEKSTAR not fully in check yet. I mean, having a little bit of an issue grouping back up and regaining control at the point, streaming in, dying one by one. Now they're going to have to get the fuller hold, as we call it, in order to take this map.
And that is an extremely rare circumstance to see. No one, however, does have that Stormbrook. It's a little bit of harassment in, but we'll go ahead and jump back. Shui on this Genji, Hisu on the Sombra. Let's see what RunAway can put together. 89.6% is what they need, and Mog is going to find that opening kill. Yeomwon going to be the first one taken down. Waffle getting in a res. It's just not going to happen because Mog comes up with another one now. Shui takes Assassin out of the sky. Leo's going to get dropped. She eventually will get knocked out of this mech, and that should just about do it. 89.7% was what they needed, and RunAway very swiftly find it.
You know, there were whispers. I talked to a lot of pros about which team is the strongest team this season, because you never really know when you have all these fresh rosters. Even if you've watched scrims, you've seen show matches, or some of these teams come from trials, level of play is just a little bit different down there. You can never really be sure, but a lot of people have been saying, I think RunAway has by far the best roster, and you know, it's tough to believe that when you're watching, you know, basically limited data scrims and stuff like that, and just talking to people before the tournament begins. But what we're seeing tonight is a dominant RunAway, absolutely great hold there, good synergy. You can see that this team is practicing hard together, and they all seem like they're playing as a unit. And with a team that's this new, it takes a long time for that to happen. On the other side of the coin, GEEKSTAR is just not quite there yet. They aren't able to regroup. They had a few good fights, they had a few good picks, and Assassin's Genji was seemingly quite good, but it just doesn't all... It's 5 fingers on a hand, but RunAway is 5 fingers in a fist, you know, if that makes sense. You know, it's a little bit more spread out.
GEEKSTAR is like an open palm slap, and RunAway is more of just a square punch to the jaw.
Yeah, everyone's on the same page, and it's a compact, tightly knit unit already. You know, 2 games, but very, very aggressive play we're seeing from Mog, which is very reminiscent of Bumper, honestly, in a lot of ways at the end of Season 2. I mean, I'm not saying he blinds up in terms of skill, but playstyle-wise, very similar.
Yeah, it seems to line up a little bit here. You know, not afraid to just commit those primal ranges, goes very aggressive with them, so certainly can be reminiscent of that at times. And so far hasn't cost him. Bumper had a couple moments where he would go a little bit too deep and then get picked off, but seems like right now RunAway just has such an upper hand over GEEKSTAR that it's not costing them. But against another squad, perhaps we'll see how things evolve throughout the tournament. That could be something he has to taper off a little bit depending on what the matchup is. But I mean, that's 2 maps in the books already. You know, we kicked things off, you know, maybe like 40 minutes ago.
There's probably
like
already a Reddit thread like, the new RunAway should be in Overwatch League. I saw 2 games and I'm already deciding it.
New RunAway should replace old RunAway in Overwatch League, even though we don't even know what team they're on yet.
Like, when Flarvin tweeted that they were all going to Overwatch League, did she mean that roster or did she mean this roster?
Yeah, that's it. This is their unveiling.
So,
everybody, Stitch and Hoxall are in the back. They're going to play the second half here, and then these guys are going to get a plane.
if you see Mog in an airport, you know it's true.